welcome guests. What does it mean to you, 5 gallons of water? I'm going to describe you quickly what happens in your home when you're going to spend 5 gallons of water. You just use the toilet, pull the string, and gone. 5 gallons of water. Now we may go across the world, and 5 gallons of water is going to be the amount of water we need to feed one family for 1 day.
Wow.
The other problem is that these women that were walking in order to get the water, they had to walk usually 5 to 10 hours. I want to bring another scene here, which is this bottle of water. When we are by the beach, just steaming, walking around, or maybe jogging, we are so fancy that we go to the Starbucks cafe and say, give me a bottle of water. And then say, yes, of course, my pleasure. And then you pay $1.95. That's fine, we are used to do that. Are you willing to pay $10 per gallon of water?
No.
No way! But you're doing, in fact, when you purchase a bottle of water like this one. And let me continue with this story about the bottle of water. How much water, let's pretend this is Coke. How much water do you need in order to produce this bottle of Coke? If I say this is a liter, you may say a liter. But the technical answer is no, you're wrong. It's going to be much more than that. It's going to be 3.7 gallons of water in order to produce a gallon of Coke, or liters. The proportion is 3.7 for each one that we get over here. Let me stop here for a moment to say, this is the human dimension, human consumption of water, where I hope you can read over there. I know I'm going to be punished for this, for not using bigger letter, which is the low cost of the resources make us insensitive to its value. Just take a shower and that's it. There is no value. In a month from now I'm going to receive my bill and I'm going to be able to pay for that. But also the convenience make us insensitive to its price. Do we agree that $10 per gallon of water is a little bit expensive? How many bottles of water we sell on a daily basis? Okay, that's a story about the human use or the human insensitivity to a resource. Now let's move to the industrial side. Let's continue with the bottle of Coke or a bottle of Pepsi. If I want to have control of my resources, the only thing I need to do is to use my big pockets or my deep pockets and purchase my resources, which is the factory of the bottles, the factory of the cups, and eventually the factory of the water. No, is going to be the resource. That happens in India, for instance. The Coca-Cola company was able to have control of the water where they were drilling, because this is underground water, in order to produce the amount of Coke they wanted for their markets. Well, this is the place where there is a conflict between the use of water for human consumption and also for industrial purposes. Let me continue with the story. This is called electric circuit waffle. This is like a waffle, okay? High technology. Has to be sealed. I won't be able to touch it inside. It's dry. It requires 1,000 gallons of water to produce it. And we have pieces of this in our cell phones, in our computers, in our laptops, maybe the satellites as well. What's the problem here? Because we are the industry. Let me go back to electronics. Electronics and the value chain in the world accounts for 10% of the value of the world production. 10%. And they require these amounts of water in order to produce dry things that we are unsensitive because we don't see that, we don't touch it. Well, because of this conflict between the human nature or the human need of the resource and also the industrial needs, I may say something else, which is something like this. Thank you. The vertical integration gives control of the resources, as I mentioned to you. I'm going to be the owner of not only the manufacturer, but also the cap factory and the bottle factory. However, the economic power doesn't give control over the public resources. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, we have a problem here. I have only 7 minutes to explain what's going to happen after that. In 20 years, 20% of the population is going to have lack of water. 20% of the population is going to be about 1 billion people. They won't be able to get the resources of water that they are going to need. Why that? Because the growth of the population, number one, the growth of the water needs for industrial purposes requires so much water that we won't be able to produce. I don't have the answer for you right now, but I believe after my presentation, next time you take a shower, go to the toilet, or eventually take a trip to Africa or Australia, you're going to remember these women. They have to walk 5 to 10 hours per day. I love this picture because we see women of all ages. They are carrying the babies. And also, there is a little girl, maybe 10 years old, and she is carrying also water. This picture, I love this one too. They have so much grace. They are the Indians. And we know how lovely they dance. But they are also able, maybe you know more about this, which is how to walk as a model. I call this the cat walk. This is amazing the way they control this. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, there is a water problem coming on pretty soon. Just take care of that.